Hey guys! So today I'm going to be doing another album review, and this time I'm going to review We Are Not Alone by Breaking Benjamin, which is one of my favorite albums by this band, and this band is one of my favorite bands, possibly my favorite band now. This is honestly an album I consider to be their best for a very long time actually. I saw how underrated it was and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I felt like I need to just like go cradle it and like hug it and tell it you have love and promise you. That's kind of dramatic. But seriously, that's kind of how I felt about this album. I didn't really know why no one would talk about it, because like, So Cold obviously was like a huge hit, you know, and then no one talks about We Are Not Alone. It's like, it's one of those things where it kind of bugs me. And I think the album overall is really great, and it has a really a lot of great things about it. There are some tracks on here I obviously like more than others. Most of the songs are pretty good though, and we're gonna start off talking track by track, and the first track on here is So Cold, and this is the first song I ever heard by Breaking Benjamin. I was like preteen and I was on Pandora. I was trying to listen to Evanescence actually, because I always loved Evanescence, and then Breaking Benjamin kept coming on, and then this song kept playing and playing, and I'm like, who even is this? This is so good. I've always loved this song so much, and it's still my favorite song by Breaking Benjamin to this day, because of how dark it sounds, because of the verse, which is very mellow, but very like enticing at the same time. And then I just love the chorus, and there's also kind of a cool bass line going on, especially during the last chorus. If you really listen for it, it's there, and it's pretty cool actually. I love the build up towards this track. I loved how it was like 4.5 minutes long, but it really doesn't feel like that. It feels like a 3.5 standard song, you know. And they trimmed out parts of the intro for the single version and the music video, which pisses me off, because it's like it doesn't feel right without the long intro. Track 2 is Simple Design. It has a nice bass line to it, and I think it has a slap bass line to it. Sorry if lighting just changed randomly. The pre-chorus and the verse are extremely dark, and then once it gets to the chorus it kind of mellows down, which at first I didn't like, but now I really like it. I think that it flows really nice and everything. This song is pretty angry, honestly. Ben talking about someone who just keeps like screwing everything up for them, and they don't even really realize they're doing it. And it's like, you had like one simple job to do and you couldn't even do that much. Track 3 is Follow, and this is one that I heard other Breaking Benjamin fans constantly saying is one of their favorites, which I was like, what? The only reason I didn't really like the song is because of the simplicity that it holds, you know. The chorus was always just like kind of simple to me. It was like, I follow you, you follow me, like, okay. All I can think of when I hear that is like Twitter. But seriously, this track has a nice little guitar riff. Like, it has a nice kind of bounce to it, and it kind of like gets you into it. It's upbeat, it's a really upbeat track. I think the guitar really shines on this one. And then track 4 is Firefly, and Firefly is pretty good. I like it more than Follow. And Firefly had a nice kind of chorus. I never understood what Ben was saying for the longest time. I was like, I always thought he was saying, Firefly, could you shut your light? Which doesn't make any sense. How do you shut a light? Like, that makes no sense, but it was Shine, I'm pretty sure. The only issue I have with the song is Ben's singing, which is weird. I don't ever complain about Ben singing. I think he's a pretty good singer, honestly. I really like his voice for the most part. It's kind of like, he has a kind of like throaty voice, and kind of like a, I don't know, like, his voice is kind of interesting. Towards the end of this song, Firefly, it seems like he's kind of struggling with breath control. But overall, the chorus of the song is pretty good. I like how the lyrics in the chorus kind of change during the last chorus, where it's like, now I hate your ways because they're just like mine, you know? And earlier it said, I know your ways because they're just like mine. So it's kind of interesting, actually. I like that. It's not one of my favorites, but it's not one of my least favorites either. And then track 5 is Break My Fall, and this is probably one of my favorites. I always just loved the main guitar riff. It bridged a weird gap between, you know, kind of mellow and kind of heavy, because it's not heavy. It's not heavy at all, actually, but it's not mellow either. It's just right in the middle, like in the dead middle. That's what this whole song is, honestly. I just have a lot of memories, like, trying to play this, and I always like the verse, and then the chorus is really melodic, and, like, I just I really like it. I also like how it says, "You're not alone here," because it's close to the album title, "We Are Not Alone," and that's probably why they named this album "We Are Not Alone." It's interesting, towards the end there's a pilot in this song talking about like, we're about to crash, you know, whatever. Like, it's really hard to hear, and I actually looked up the lyrics to hear this, and I'm wondering if this song is about Ben's anxiety with flying, because he doesn't fly in an airplane, and so I'm wondering if it's about that, because there's something in the lyrics about like, let me belong here, or like, let me in, let me out. You know, it kind of makes me think maybe that's what this song is about. So yeah, it's a really interesting one. It's one of my favorites. So track 6 is Forget It, and when I heard the song title, I was listening to it on YouTube a while ago, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a real heavy one, it's gonna be all angry, it's all forget it, you know? Wrong, wrong, wrong. Not at all. It's a very mellow song. I would call it a ballad, and it has something very unique about it. I love all the key changes. There's 3 or 4 key changes in the song, if I recall, and you know how rare it is to find key changes in this kind of rock music? I almost never see it, and I just thought it was so cool, and it's hard to sing. When the key changes, you're singing completely different notes than before, and it's hard, it's not easy to do, and so I'm like, oh my gosh. And he shows off his range in this song towards the end, and it's a really good track. I love it. Let me tell you, when I first heard it, I thought it was the most boring song in the universe, and I didn't like it. I was like, what even is this? Like, I even heard people complaining in the comments of this song, where'd the heavy Breaking Benjamin go? And I'm like, you guys are losers. Do you not realize this was on their second album? Because they changed. They're not heavy anymore. Yet this song is from 2004. Can't stand those types of fans. I think that Ben actually wrote this song with the help of the Smashing Pumpkins lead singer, Billy, whatever his name is, Billy Corgan? Something like that. All I know is that Billy, whatever his name is, has collaborated with a lot of people, and I think that is probably what gives this song a very unique edge to it, because for Breaking Benjamin, it doesn't really sound like them, and it's unique. Track 7 is Sooner or Later, and this is another one of my favorites. When I started to try to learn how to play guitar, this was the very first song I ever learned on guitar, and like, I remember just sitting there for hours, like, trying to play like the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the opening riff, and then the picking in the verse. I couldn't do the picking because I only had 5 strings. I really like this song a lot. It grew on me quickly. I always just loved how kind of melodic and mellow the chorus is, you know, kind of dramatic verses. And then the chorus is just like so melodic and like so nice and soothing almost. It's very interesting. I just always loved Sooner or Later so much. Amazing guitar riffs, amazing bridge. I love how both of the guitar riffs and the bridge, like the lead guitar riff and then the rhythm guitar riff, just blend together kind of nicely. We have 3 favorites in a row: Forget It, Sooner or Later, and Breakdown, which is track 8. Breakdown is phenomenal. It's second to So Cold. I think it's the best song on this record. Breaking Benjamin never uses piano in their songs, like ever. If you've listened to their discography and you know their discography, you will know that they just never really use it, like, except for You Fight Me. They did use piano in that song. This song has a piano intro, and it's like you totally think it's gonna be something other than it is, and it's supposed to shock you, it's supposed to surprise you and kind of almost like scare you, because it's all like da 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 da, and it's like, okay, what's this? And then it's all breakdown. Like, I can't even keep a straight face. The bass line is freaking amazing. It's one of the heavier ones. My dad, when he listened to this song for the first time, Breakdown, when I had We Are Not Alone in the car and everything, he said that it reminded him of Nirvana, which I found kind of funny because Ben says that his favorite band is Nirvana. And if I do listen for it in the chorus, it does kind of sound Nirvana-ish, like the way the chords are being played. And this song, I think, is talking about anxiety attacks, which is, I mean, it's a dark song. It's a very dark song. Another thing I love with Breakdown is towards the end when Ben is singing. I love his singing when he says, what's that sound? It's so loud. the last time he sings it, he just sings like, he sings at the top of his range, and he sings so much power and like so much energy, and I love that. Track 9 is Away, and this is a pretty good one. Another one that kind of grew on me. This is more of a medium-paced song. He's probably like talking about a lover or somebody, like it's one of those songs. And then in the verse, it's kind of like, it's kind of calm, but it has these palm-muted guitars, and it's pretty cool. It's a pretty good one overall, but there isn't too much to say about it. And then track 10 is Believe, and I don't really know what to say about this one. You've heard me say in my Dark Before Dawn review that it sounded like they were trying to do something they weren't good at doing. I did say that. And you know what? It's actually pretty true. They were trying to do a metal-tinged hard rock song. I don't really care for how this song starts out when the like guitars start and it's like da 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 da, and then like the weird kind of sounds in the back are just like so chaotic. I feel like it's a little too much, a little overkill. I actually really like the guitar riff right after the chorus. It's so catchy. It's freaking awesome. I love that guitar riff. It's the best part of the song, honestly. I think that the bridge is pretty cool. I like how like the guitar kind of gets a little bit more calm and like really melodic and nice, and the guitars in this song are obviously the best thing about Believe, and so I do like this track. I mean, if I made it seem like in my other review that I didn't like this track, I didn't really mean to make it seem like that, because I actually do like it. I just see a couple issues with it, but overall it's enjoyable. And then track 11, which is the closing track, is Rain. You're probably gonna hear me say the most negative things about this song, because it feels like a nursery rhyme, like maybe that's what they're going for, you know. I don't have a problem with that, actually, because like you look at what Chutes and Ladders by Korn, like they did the whole nursery rhyme thing. I mean like they totally went like 1, 2, buckle my shoe, you know, like they did all the nursery rhymes. London Bridge is falling down. But the whole reason they were even doing these nursery rhymes is to kind of sarcastically point out how dark the origins of those nursery rhymes were. Breaky Benjamin plays this straight, almost like they're trying to do this. Like, rain, rain, go away, come again another day. All the world is waiting for the sun. And that's the whole chorus, and it's like, oh, you can do better than rain, rain, go away, I promise you. You're more talented than that. The acoustic guitars in this song seem really simple. There's nothing wrong with having a simple song, but like, could you at least have put a little riff in there like you usually do Breaking Benjamin? Like, Breaking Benjamin is usually known for very unique, like very good guitar riffs that are up and down the fretboard and just like, yeah, I feel like the acoustic guitars could have used a little echo to them, a little bit more something. And then the rain effects in the song is like, but when you look at this song on its own, it's like, okay. But then like you look at it on this album especially, like, and you're like, why? This should have been a B-side. You know what should have happened? Ladybug should have appeared on here, Rain should have been cut off. Then We Are Not Alone might be my favorite, again. I should probably say one positive thing about Rain. Okay, Rain is very relaxing, and the alternate single version is much better. I still wouldn't call it a great song, or even a good one, but like the alternate single version has a climax, and it's kind of nice, you know? It's like, it's very much more enjoyable. Okay, enough bashing on Rain. That is my thoughts on We Are Not Alone. And for a score for me to give this, and with this album, I'd probably give it a strong 9. Yeah, that makes sense, because it's my second favorite, and has a couple little faults here and there. Not much, though. I mean, honestly, the only faults I really see are on the last 2 tracks. And even Believe is very enjoyable for having faults. So, I think they did a great job with this record. Another thing I really like is the album cover. It used to kind of creep me out when I was younger, when I would see it on my iTunes, because like my older brothers were into Breaking Benjamin, like when I was really little, and then I'd see it, I'm like, what are all those hands? I think it's really creative. I don't know. I like how it's all gray-blue, and it fits the album so well, like, just this dark atmosphere. I love the atmosphere of this. I love how they can kind of do medium-paced rock songs and not make it sound boring. They were able to kind of make songs like Away and Break My Fall and Forget It really enjoyable, while they didn't have to be super heavy. I love kind of the dark, kind of random lyrics, especially lyrics on songs So Cold, Simple Design, Breakdown, and Forget It. I think those have the best lyrics on here. Please tell me what you thought about this album in the comments, and leave me suggestions for other album reviews you want me to do, because I'm open to suggestions. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.